Okay, so people, so when you see me holding this mic, it means it's time for the review show. So let's go. Hello guys, welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. I'm your host Sam, and we are doing Premier League review of all the games that has been played. There's so much to talk about, so many areas that we need to at least have an idea or maybe an understanding of what the manager was thinking making those decisions. So we're going to be talking about Erik ten Hag and some of the decisions he made today, as well as Liverpool playing against Nottingham Forest. We're going to be talking about all the other games that were played. Chelsea lose again. There's a lot, and it's exciting to talk about this. And Arsenal hit 5. We have so much to cover here, people, so we're going to be doing it as quickly as possible. But the only place to start is at Old Trafford, where Man City were playing against Manchester United. They were the visitors, Man City. Pep Guardiola talked about how much he was afraid of Erik ten Hag and how Manchester United can just turn it. The man was talking about how the game can just change and how much it could actually hurt Man City to go forward. One thing that I'm not going to disagree with him, the way it maybe felt like he was sounding. Man City are not yet really the finished article, especially with so many players that they've made, but they were still the team that where they had the upper hand playing against Erik ten Hag's Manchester United. Because to be honest, what exactly has Manchester United done to give anyone the confidence that they can do something this season, especially in this past 10 games? There's a lot of things that happened in this match that we need to at least decipher, talk about them, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. And I'm going to do more reaction videos over to that as well. Today I'm going to add an El Clasico bonus. I need to talk about El Clasico that was played yesterday. It was a good game, so we're going to be talking about it here as well, people. So the game finished 3-0. Man City beat Manchester United, and Haaland was the star of the show, and Phil Foden also scored the last goal. But the interesting part about Haaland being the star of the show is exactly at the end of the game, Pep Guardiola was not happy about something, and it seems like they were quarreling about something, him and Haaland. So you find what exactly is this man asking from this player, because you just won by 3-0 at your fearless rivals in Manchester United, and you're still not satisfied with what your star man did after he scores a brace, especially when he has not really been performing so well. It's exciting how Pep Guardiola demanded the best for his team, and you can see the difference between him and the guy on the other side, Erik ten Hag. So this was the derby of the heads, by the way. People talks about how bored heads these guys are. Anyway, it's just a joke. But one thing that I was really surprised about was when I saw Erik ten Hag taking out Sofyan Amrabat at half time. My question was, exactly what is he expecting? What was he expecting by taking out I felt like one of the most important players in the game as it was going. Because let me tell you, I'm looking at the team stats right now. The game finished shots, United had 7 in total, the whole game. City had 21. On target, United had 3, City had 10. So it means the goalkeeper of Manchester United was saving a lot. Onana really looks like he's taken a 10, because he's really doing some good saves, So we have to give some respect to him. Percentage wise, United had 39 and Man City had 61. Passes 605 to 391. That's a difference. 89 pass accuracy to 80. Fouls 5 by City, 9 by United. The yellow cards 4 for United and 1 for City. Red cards none, and offsides 4 for United, none for Man City. You wonder where were they playing. Corners 12 for City, while they were 7 for United. So when you look at the stats, you'll be like, okay, who expected United to dominate the game, especially playing against Man City, especially with the way they've been playing? Why would we expect them to dominate the game? Yeah, so that we will not really make it count, or we not even say anything about it. But we have to ask some certain questions. how do you, as a manager, this was the lineup of Manchester United, the home team. Onana was a goal, Dalot, Harry Maguire, Evans, and Lindelof. They were the team that was set up. We had Christian Eriksen and Sofio Amrabat playing as the holding mid. Well, of course, that helps Christian Eriksen to create something. We had Bruno Fernandes, Scott McTominay, and Rashford playing as the front three, and Højlund was up top. That's reasonable the way he set it up, especially if Casemiro was fit. Of course, we know he was going to be at the Eriksen position, but he wasn't really 100% fit. But I think he was on the bench. Let me check. No, he was not even at the bench. Interesting that Kobe Manu was actually on the bench, but he was not used. I thought this guy was the star of the show for Manchester United in the preseason. What happened? And Man City had Edison at goal, Guvadio, John Stones, Diaz, Walker, Rodri, Silva as the holding as well. And we had Phil Foden up top, Alvarez and Grealish, and Haaland was the main up top. So Haaland scored goals. Foden did score a goal, so that's amazing if you put them in your fantasy team. But the game went very well. There was actually sometimes I felt like on counter Manchester United are really doing so well. They can really hurt this team. But my confusion came out from the substitute. Of course, Man City got a penalty. Was it a penalty? So many questions could be asked from that one. Many of the people that I've heard, they said that it was soft. And just later on, if the same type of incident that gave a penalty to City happened to United, but the difference in this one is because the star who was being pushed or who was being held did not fall to the floor. So if he did not fall to the floor, it means that did not actually help the team. So that just makes everything interesting, because after that happened, you'd expect something to happen, but nothing actually moved. So we found ourselves in a craziness of wondering, was VAR used well? But we also heard of this rule that only referees can make a decision if the player actually fall down. So my thoughts to that is that Højlund should have fallen down, especially the way he was being pulled, because it becomes hard because he continued going. How do you give a penalty as a referee with the player not going down? We talked about that. This new rules needs a player to go down on the floor for some certain decisions to be done. So that did not happen. But City got a penalty because Højlund was holding a player. The player falls down and there was a hold. That's why the penalty was given. Was it City cheating, or the VARs, or the Premier League referees not being, doing what they're actually supposed to do? So many questions can be asked from that, but we won't really get into that. We just look at how the situation happened at the end of the day. My confusion came when Amrabat went out. Amrabat went out, by the way, for Mason Mount, which meant Scott McTominay was going to drop in and play with Christian Eriksen as the holding. We remember McFred, people. We remember McFred and how much of a flop this group was. We had Mark Eriksen in this game. My question is this: why? Was okay, he had the yellow card, Amrabat, I get it, but I think he was actually doing better to stop the attack or disturbing the attack of Man City than what we saw from Eriksen when he was playing in that position. And at the same time, you put on Mason Mount and number 10, and he's not even playing that position, because we had Bruno Fernandes, who's the number 10, playing as a winger. We also had Mount coming in the middle, just behind number 9. So you wonder exactly what's happening. We also had the Marcus Rashford, who felt like I felt like he was just disjoined from the team, didn't want to play. I think that's what you could say if you really zoom in when you really think about it. A lot of things were happening in this game. It just left so many people with so many questions. But one thing I can tell you, game plan from Erik ten Hag, it seems like it's something that is really going to be difficult to be found out. For us, the rivals who were expecting for a clash, it's the You Manchester Derby, you expect it to be, in high flies, one of the best games. We were not given that. In fact, we were robbed of our time. So there are so many things that we United have to improve on. Eric Ten Hag has to find something, and if he's not doing well, he has to work. Some of the in-game decisions, which so many people praised him so much last season about his in-game decisions, they've fallen so dramatically that now I'm really speechless in terms of where exactly this team is going. There are so many things that can change, but at the moment, so many things are going against Eric Ten Hag that they should be going on his side. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section over the United game. Did it impress you? Are you happy? What did you expect? What did you get? And what would you want to see to improve from both teams? And do you think Eric Ten Hag deserves his spot as Manchester United manager, especially with what we are watching? I have no idea what's making noise. It's in the evening anyway. So we're going to move on, people. The next game that I'll talk about is Arsenal versus Arsenal versus Sheffield United. The reason why I'm talking about this game is because of the goals that were scored. Or maybe no, before that, those are the easy games. Let me talk about the Crystal Palace versus Tottenham Hotspur. It finished by 2-1. Tottenham Hotspur playing Maddison again, being instrumental. Yemingson exactly leading by example. I think they are now back to the same level of goals with Salah, but he's scoring every game, people. He's scoring every game. Haaland is now opening a gap by the 2 goals he scored in the Manchester Derby, but he's scoring so many goals, people. He's scoring so many goals. How was the game? Tottenham were not in the game. Sometimes we have to be honest about our decisions or whatever we talk about. Yes, they won game. Yes, they had some great moments that they had to actually get the game into their direction. But they're not playing so well. They were not really doing so well. They did not offer so much. They did not even give something that people could be really proud of. Yet they won the game. And sometimes if you're in a title race, certain things like this always goes your way until to the very end. And people talked about how this team is playing, sort of remind them of how Leicester City did it. Remember how Leicester City won the Premier League, how they always found a way. Tottenham Hotspur are doing the same thing. Of course, there are so many instances where the referee is helping their cause than others. Like yesterday, I think I heard that the second goal, there are so many questions over it. I haven't seen it. I've just heard people talking about it. Maybe these are just Saudi fans, but they're doing what they have to do. And they're winning the games. And if you're winning the games, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, then good. You continue. Because that means they're going far. Anyway, let's see where they go next. And also sometimes it doesn't even have to make sense. You just have to get the game going. You just have to get the points and move on. 26 points. 2 points ahead of Manchester United and Arsenal. Manchester City and Arsenal, the 2 teams that were fighting it for the Premier League last season. And it seems like it's exciting times. You keep fighting, you still fight. They keep finding ways to win. So many people could hate them, could say a lot of things, feel like they've played softer teams. But they've gotten all the points that they need to get from those teams that they've played. But don't forget, they played the likes of Liverpool. They also played the likes of Arsenal. Tottenham Hotspurs are doing what they have to do. And they're getting the job done, which is very important. It's going to be exciting, especially as they're playing Chelsea next week. But at the moment, what they need to do, they're doing it. And they're getting the points on the board. Let's see where they go from this, but I was really excited. It ended 2-1. Crystal Palace could have come back from the game, but Spurs fought to the very end, especially after the Ayew goal, which was scored, I think, at 90. When they were going to the extra time, so they didn't have time, and it was a shaky finish to Tottenham Hotspur, but they got the job and they finished the job, and that's sometimes what matters, especially in a marathon like we are in the Premier League. Sometimes you don't even need to have the performance, the masterclass performance. But the exciting part about Angeball, you are getting that performance. I watched this game trying to criticize some of the things. When the the Angibo is really on full effect and it's actually showing results. It's exciting. It's exciting, and everyone can agree about that in the whole world. It's exciting to watch. And they did so well and they got the results. So we move, people. We move. The other team we're going to be talking about is Arsenal versus Sheffield. As they were, then you may just talk about the teams that I talked about Man City, Spurs, now like Arsenal. Arsenal scored 5 goals, people. Eddie Nketiah, unplayable. What a game. I was impressed by this. Fabio Vieira scored his goal. Takiano Tomiyasu scored the last minute header. This Arsenal squad is showing people something that they've never seen. Can just surprise you. Of course, Sheffield is a small team. In fact, the entire game, Sheffield only had 2 shots on target. Arsenal had, no, not on target, 2 shots. But Arsenal had about 13 shots. 8 for Arsenal were on target, none for Sheffield United. So it means that the midfield and the defense did not even given a chance to Sheffield United to do anything. Position, of course, it was dominated by Arsenal. Passes as well, Arsenal. Accuracy of passes, Arsenal. No yellow cards, but Sheffield got some. I'm more interested about this player, Eddie Nketiah. So many people talk about him, talk about how he is not really the guy you expect. The guy was unbelievable. Got his first Premier League hat-trick. Played with so much passion. Fought to the very end. And scored 3 goals, went with the match ball. That has to mean something. So many people write them down that Nketiah has left the room. He cannot be what he wants. Remember that your defense is in trouble. So people were like, Nketiah has left the room rather to be Nketiah in the room. He proved on this game that he was definitely in the room. And he fought to the very end, doing what he had to do. I felt like actually some big stars were actually not in the game. But the ones who are cold that they are failing were in the game, because the other player that surprised me from this game was none other than Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz was moving people. He was bossing the midfield. He was controlling this thing and he was doing everything that he could. I was actually excited to see Kai Havertz actually play at his rightful position, and he produced that masterclass of a performance. Because sometimes he's always playing on the left, but actually that Odegaard road is exactly where Kai Havertz thrived, and we saw it on Saturday. He did so well moving forward, the passes. I don't know, let me check if he actually assisted in some of the goals. Oh, the thing that I'm using is not giving me information about who actually assisted the goals. But man, he was moving. That tells you that maybe the reason why people always complain about Kai Havertz is that maybe he's just not playing the position he should be playing. But they won by 5 goals to 0. What a performance by the Reds. We move, people, we move. As we are now looking at Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest at Anfield today, this afternoon. It was a good game, but before I go to the game, some terrible news that are coming from Colombia. I actually did not know about it until today, that I was told that Luis Diaz had to rush back home because his parents were kidnapped. Like what? In 2023. So they were kidnapped, and according to the reports that we've been told, that the mother has been found, yet to hear any reports over the father. But how can we be dealing with these things at the moment? Our thoughts and prayers are with the family. I hope the father is found with no any injuries, with nothing else. So many reports are flying around, but they have not been confirmed that he has been found. We need tangible information, but what's terrible. Which now brings me to the game of today, because Diogo Jota was the first goal scorer of Liverpool's game today against Nottingham Forest. He ran to his side and he held a Luis Diaz shirt as a sign to give his honor and trust and thanking and giving his support to Lucha. And I think that was one thing that these are the moments you cherish, that type sort of sportsmanship, to stand up and to do things like that. It's amazing. But let's get back into the game. I felt like, I don't really think Nottingham Forest had any control over the game. Did they ever get into the game to really? I don't think so. Of course, it took Liverpool around 31 minutes to actually get the first goal, but they played so well because the stats are telling me that they had 21 shots. They had 8 on target to 9 shots for Nottingham Forest, one only being on target. They had a pass position of 73 to 27, so they were commanding the game. 715 touches compared to 257. Talk about a boss control of a game. Of course, they got 2 yellow cards to 3 for Nottingham Forest, but look at that boss performance. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see from my team. Of course, because Lucha was not there, we had to, the lineup that was set up, it was Alisson, with Trent, with Konate, with Van Dijk, with Tsimikas. Today I was impressed by Konstantina Tsimikas people. Soboslai was dominating the game alongside McAllister, who was just a Rolls Royce in the midfield. Ryan Gravenberch, I think, is now starting to fit into that Liverpool squad. You can see his ball changing skills, touches, movement. It's exciting, people. And I love what Klopp is doing with these guys, keeping them hungry. So they want to keep playing. So Soboslai had 2 assists for Darwin Núñez' goal and also I think Mohamed Salah's goal. The Jota's goal, I think it was assisted by, wasn't it? McAllister, if I'm not mistaken. I think it has to be McAllister. But what a game. And they were playing on a 4-3-3, of course, the traditional. But imagine they were actually playing with a team that was playing 5-4-1. So the penetration of getting into that defense with 5 players took so much from the team. So you have to put some respect on them. But the game was won by 3-0. I was excited. It seems like there's something we're building here now. Exciting times, people. So now we're talking about the other games that made the week exciting as we are about moving on. Firstly, Chelsea lost to Brentford. After a masterclass performance against Arsenal, how does Chelsea come from there to losing against Brentford? Some things in football they never really make sense, you know. Some things in football, they never make sense. How does you come from performing that mastermind to go lose to a team like Brentford? Well, you never know, but we need to talk about it. Some things has to change, some things has to be done, but that won't help them to go forward if they want to do something, this Chelsea team. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section as we move on, because they lost by 2-0 2 goals to nil. Does that shout crisis? Maybe, because Chelsea are just failing to break down teams that actually defends. They can play so well with teams that opens at the back. Hence, a masterclass performance against Liverpool and as well against Chelsea. So that tells you everything. So, as we move on, let's see what happens there with that team. Burnley played against Bournemouth and Bournemouth won by 2-1. Bournemouth's boss job was now under threat of being fired, but you know, Burnley, the team that finished with 100 points in the championship, looks like they're everyone's whipping boys. Whipping boys. And I have nothing to say against Company's thing. The exciting game that we actually played yesterday was Wolves versus Newcastle. Wolves are a dangerous team, people. Whatever Gary O'Neill is doing with this squad is out of this world. Because what we saw yesterday and how he was commanding, dominating, controlling that game was just amazing. So you need to keep an eye on Gary O'Neill because it looks like he has something to prove to the Premier League and to the rest of the world. And I can't wait to see how that goes. But we're enjoying these times. The game finished 2-2, by the way. 1 penalty and 1 goal for Newcastle and 2 goals for Wolves. I have no idea why the penalty was actually allowed to stand. That was not supposed to be a penalty. So many questions to ask about that one. West Ham played against Everton and Everton won. That's good for Sean Dyche, especially going to play and beating the Hammers, one of the teams that are really being rated as one of the hardest teams to play against. That tells you everything you need to know. Luton Town played against Aston Villa today. They lost by 3-1. Aston Villa just proved to be strong to them, so that just tells you everything about the game. Let's see where they go from here. But like I told you, a bonus clip is coming from this El Clasico, people. El Clasico. Yesterday we witnessed one of the best games ever, or should I say the day before yesterday we witnessed one of the best games ever in the El Clasico, where we were watching Real Madrid battle out against Barcelona. The game finished 2-1. How? I have no idea, baby. I have no idea how the game finished by 2-1. Because I need to explain something. I'm still looking for the stats, but sorry for looking that side. But I have no idea. Barcelona were at home, playing against Real Madrid, of course. And it was a good game. They played so well. They controlled Real Madrid. They did everything that they had to do. They controlled the game. But the difference maker. So many people don't want to talk about the difference maker, but we need to talk about the difference maker of this game. Jude freaking Bellingham. Jude freaking Bellingham. How do you disagree with quality, man? How do you disagree with quality? This guy was not in the game. He struggled to get into the game. Tiki-taka football was running the game. They struggled, Real Madrid, to have any control over the game. But when they got a little bit of control after they introduced Kamavinga and Luka Modric, that was a different game. And Jude Bellingham showed his class again, like he always has done. He showed his class. So the game finished by 2-1. Barcelona scored 6 minutes. Ilkay Gundogan with an amazing goal. Played so well, attacked so well, caused problems. But Jude Bellingham was activated in the second half. 68 minutes scored the first goal. 92 minutes scored the second goal. That was it. Nada. The game was done. This guy is very, very, very amazing. And I'm telling you, the future is very bright for this kid. The future is just freaking bright for this kid. You cannot disagree with what he's offering. It was a good game. Look at this. 15 shots to 13. 3 goals on target for Barcelona to 4 goals for shots on target for Madrid. 52% of control by Barcelona to 48. Positions of where they would close the accuracy. Fouls 15-15. There was war in this game. There was war. And the yellow cards, it was 1 for Real Madrid, 2 for Barcelona. I actually felt that was wrong, but there was war in this game. The referee, one thing I was really impressed by the referee of this game, he had to assume control of this game, or a lot of people were going to get some crazy red cards in this game. But Jude Bellingham, man, I was left speechless. That's the only thing I can tell you. I was left speechless. I was running for Barcelona. I needed Barcelona to win the game, but you can't deny it, man. Jude is just on another stratosphere, man. And we are now being told that he has won the Young Player Awards. Not really confirmed, but rumors are saying so. And it seems like it was a clean sweep. What would you expect? What would you expect when you have a player like him? Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section over the Classic or everything that happened in the Premier League. What are you expecting? This was Sam. And like I told you, this was the review show 2023-2024. We are out. Subscribe to the Football Connect. We'll be back again with another one. And we'll continue again talking about the games. We are out. Peace. And remember,